Okay. Now it's going. Okay. So, we're back again. I fixed my shirt, sorry.
Oof.
Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, and my two sisters, Naomi and Eve. Three Sisters Creative. We're doing another Flosstube extra for the Witchy Stitchy Challenge 2020. And showing off our stitching or not stitching or whatever mistakes.
I just made a mistake. And it was a half stitch. It was hard.
Yeah. So I'm going to take this apart. I need to change. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I just came for the Pepsi. What are you looking for? Needles right here?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I pulled my needle out. Sorry. Had a minor panic attack there. I'm going to take this off so I can show it off a little bit, and because I'm almost done. You might witness a finish here. Yeah.
My Christmas present? Or one of my
No,
Christmas
this is
presents?
not yours. No, this is not for you. This is for my mom.
Everything Santa is for me.
You probably can't see it from there, but this is
Here, I'll take it up.
Christmas at Winterberry Cabin by Brenda Gervais. Gervais, however you say her name. And,
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Pretty.
Except the one thing I'm not crazy about, and it's the prim style, I guess. But to me, all these colors are almost the same. They're all
What's prim
very
style? Primitive?
primitive, yeah.
Oh.
They're all
Sorry.
like various shades of sort of, off green and off in heirloom gold and off brown and whatever. They're all very close together.
It already looks faded.
Yeah. And but I almost thought I was almost gonna finish it. So I worked on it on the 13th. I think was when the 13th is when it came up in my little rotation list here. And so I worked on it on the 13th, and I thought, well, I'm almost done, so I can finish it. Then it was already the 14th, and in the midday or whatever, and I had like a doctor's appointment and this and that, and so
I want to look at it.
yeah, so I worked on it. So then I worked on it on the 14th because I was almost done. I thought, well, I'll finish it.
You want me to show it to the camera?
So now it's the 15th, and I'm still working on it.
That's all right.
So
Here, let me show it up.
well, I could like stitch on it and like come back to it, but I thought I was so close at the end.
That's beautiful.
But so right now I'm still working on. There's a couple of cabins that have roofs but no cabin, and then
so
one
pretty.
tree there, and then I have to do a star too. I realize there's a star that has to go on that side. So I'm almost done.
I'm working on this. Here, I'll pick it up. I'm the Vanna White of the night.
Yes,
It's probably all backwards.
That's Halloween Gnomes.
no, it shouldn't be.
Oh, okay.
Halloween Gnomes by somebody, Michael? Can you
Ursula Michael.
Ursula Michael. That's so adorable.
Yeah. I went back to the site a couple times before I bought it because it was so cute.
Cute.
That's the danger of 1, 2, 3 stitch.
I'm still working on Pandemic.
It was on 1, 2, 3 stitch that I bought and Heaven and Nature Sing, which I want to do someday, but it's it's one of those. It's one of the, I rarely stitch for myself. Like this one, I think is probably gonna be from my mother. And so like I do like a lot of stuff for Christmas for I think, oh, this will be good for so and so, this will be good for so and so, and so I have a list, and like I do now, of things that I'm stitching to give as Christmas presents or whatever, and so stitching for myself tends to take a back seat, and I'm making a mess here. I can't get this.
That's what January is for.
Yeah.
So what a really bad decision is waiting until this late in the evening and say,
let's work on something I can't see. Like, where's the hole?
Yeah. So.
I have a little neck light, but it's rechargeable, and it died today because I was knitting with it as usual. So.
And
I don't even know.
I designed this little Halloween
Oh,
freebie.
yeah. Here, I'll hold that up.
It's called Scaredy Cat.
So cute.
And
Halloween freebie.
A little person in a ghost costume.
There's a person in a ghost costume. There's his little pants hanging out. And the kitty behind the pumpkin.
who's scared because it's a ghost.
It's so cute.
So that's free. You can go ahead and email Beth at her
And it'll be in the description box below. phantagray@gmail.com.
or everydayartist.eve@gmail.com, and just request the Scaredy Cat, and we'll send it to you by PDF. As I was gonna put it for free on the Etsy site, but then you would have to pay 20 cents.
Oh no.
So I'm not gonna do that.
Cool.
My glasses. I lost my glasses. Get a bit of snake, get a bit me. That's a dog.
My
Oh,
dog's
somebody's
happy
here.
because my son's home.
Well, I'm still working on Pandemic. I'm not very far. I won't, and I haven't been doing a good job on this challenge of stitching every day. But I'm stitching more than I have in years, so I figure maybe I'm winning in that regard.
Well, if you understood the craziness of my sister's life, the fact that she gets to do it at all any day is,
I probably have a
a
piece of this
success.
heirloom gold roaming around.
Well,
my
part
bed
of my
somewhere.
craziness in my life is that I'm obsessed with yarn. I'll admit that.
I did see that yarn section at Hobby Lobby, that new
They
yarn
have
section.
new yarns there. I'm
Yeah,
so
they don't
impressed.
have that at the one here, but that big one over there,
Yeah.
it's like,
They have.
wow.
So now Hobby Lobby carries 100% merino hand dyed yarn, and it's not very expensive as that kind of yarn goes. I didn't look to see where it was made, but it looked really nice, like sock yarn.
My sister knows the names of the sheep that she gets yarn from.
I try to. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Because it makes a difference, and that's what's so cool. That's what I've really learned. And I just earlier this year I bought something called Knit Stars, which is an online
Sorry, I'm still hustling around.
an online knitting like class. I don't know what you want to call it, university festival, whatever. And this is the 5th year. They've always been online, but in past years they travel all over the globe and interview what they call knit stars, which is very famous knitters and designers and stuff like that. And they do a pattern and teach you techniques and stuff like that. And I didn't hear about it until last year. So, till earlier this year. So when it was open, I bought this coming year, season 5, and I bought last year's season 4 because the first lesson is all about alpaca in Peru, and it's so beautiful. But anyway, that starts November 1, and I'm very excited about it. I got all my yarn.
She likes to go
pre-ordered
meet
yarn.
llamas and sheep.
Yes.
Learn their names.
I love it. But I got pre-ordered my yarn, and so I got it in, and it came with, if you ordered over a certain amount of money, which I'm ashamed to say how much, you got a free bag, and the bag is gorgeous. So
Making a mess.
So I'm excited about that.
My thread here.
So when I'm not cross stitching, I am still playing with sticks and string. It's just bigger sticks and bigger string. That's all.
So I probably have a piece of this heirloom gold wadded up on my bed somewhere. But since
You better hope it's not being eaten by a cat.
no, it's not. I just don't know.
Threads disappear on me all the time. I separate out a thread and I get the rest of it and rewrap it and then I look for the thread and it's gone, and I don't know where it is. I'm like, I know I separated one out. I don't know where it went.
Like as I have a length that I separated out, and I'm pretty sure I have not used all 6 strands, but I didn't really think to look. I had a little mess going on, and so.
So when I
Actually,
decided
that might be the end of the.
when I decided
Thread,
what fabric to do this pattern on, I chose this, and that helped me dye it. I've dyed stuff before, but she has the dye and I don't.
So, stuff. I didn't dye my
So-
fabric.
So I, but this piece of fabric I already had, because I bought some 18 count from, to do a cat that I got off of my my son was peeking in, that I got off of the DMC site, and I had quite a bit of fabric left over that was an ugly yellow color. I don't know why anybody would want to use that color. That's more power to them. I do not. And so we dyed it. I dyed that one purple. I haven't started it yet. But I said, oh, I have this big piece of fabric left. I'll just use that because it says, the pattern says you can, 14, 18. And I said, I'll just use 18. I have that. I didn't know that this pattern has tons and tons of half stitches until after I started. Which is fine. I don't mind half stitches, but they're much harder on this smaller square.
So I'm using Fancy Floss, and I'm doing the 2 things that people tend to say are no-nos. I'm using the loop method, and I do not stitch 1x at a time. And so there.
So the cross stitch police are gonna get you.
The cross stitch
I so want to do a pattern called the cross stitch police.
Yes.
And have it where it looks like the back with stuff strung across the and like a lady going, that's not right. or what is the other thing?
Why are you not supposed to do it that way?
Well, because if you
can see it
do
through
it
there.
1x at a time, you do like on that little
Is
tribal
it
envelope.
variegated? Is
Yeah.
that why? I
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, this has a slight variegation to it that you can see if you look, more closely at it.
Well, it's
and
just like
so theoretically, actually, I am stitching 1x at a time on this little tree because of the way the way the pattern works.
But I mean, if you
But-
think of it, I'm just, of course, correlating everything to yarn, but when you're spinning yarn that's colored, usually, like, you get fiber that's blocks of color,
Mhm.
and then you spin it so you have lengths of color. And then there's 2 ways of plying it, which is, plying the singles back on themselves to create a balanced yarn. You can do it like, where you, like either from 3 bobbins or do a 2-ply, like back on itself, and the color's barber pole.
Mhm.
Or if you do something like a chain ply, where you're real careful about the color changes, then you can make lengths of color, like in a
Mhm.
true variegated yarn. And it's just a way of what you like. So if you do out and back, you might get sort of a barber pole look or whatever, something similar in your X's.
Well,
But
it
it just,
The variegation is usually so subtle that I don't see the
yeah.
big controversy.
it depends on the thread, and because like some colors are more variegated than others,
Right.
and like if you it just depends on the thread. Like that's one reason why, like on a lot of Flosstube channels, people show whatever thread they've got, and
Sort
you
of
can
blind.
turn on those back glass behind us
Okay.
there. but so you can see the variegation in some colors or some threads more than others, and
Yeah.
it just depends. On a lot of the whites and blacks, there are little or no variation. But some colors have a lot, and so if you want the variegation to show more,
Yeah, if you want to
clearly.
keep the colors together, or
Yeah,
if you
then
want to
you-
mix them. That's
they-
what I'm trying to say.
and what I'm saying is that if you get two separate lengths, you want to kind of put them together so that it goes from light to dark,
Sure.
and then you stitch one X at a time, so the variegation shows up a little more clearly.
Right.
And
That's what I'm trying to say.
yeah, but
So that's what I said. Like if you did a chain ply yarn, you keep those color variations
yeah,
together.
yeah,
But if you like a sort of modeled barber pole look, you mix them all up, and that's a look. It's a thing. So I'm just saying.
well, when you do what I was saying is that when you do out and back or whatever, you're basically covering. Say it's the thread is lighter on one end and darker on the other. You end up covering the variegation with the light parts. You end up covering with the dark part, so you don't see the variegation as much. But
Sorry about all the slamming
the
of
way
doors. My son does not know how to close a door without slamming it.
But so I just kind of
well.
stitch away.
I was
And
gonna say,
I
like
do-
I said,
I
what
do-
does it matter?
I do
It's your look.
a combination of out and back and one next at a time,
I
just
look
depending on the pattern.
I
How.
look at it as it's yours.
Yeah.
If you were making it for somebody who's paying you,
Or for some
then-
kind of contest or something.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Is that people talk about if you're doing it for
The state
a
fair.
competition like the state fair or something like that, then what you do, like how your back looks and blah blah
Yeah.
blah, it
All matters.
matters. But
I
and
just say.
and making sure that all your X's are correct and
I
I,
just
I
say-
couldn't enjoy it if I had.
Right, I was gonna say, the point is, at least for you and me, is enjoyment and creation. So
Mhm.
do whatever.
We've
Speaking of
joked about the
contests-
cross stitch
oh.
police since I taught them how to cross stitch.
Yes,
When I was teaching
there's
Beth.
all kinds of police. There's knitting police. There's mothering police.
When I was teaching,
frankly.
it was either Beth or Naomi. I was saying, well, you do it this way, and you slide the threads under. You don't tie knots, and all this stuff. And one of them, I don't remember which was. What are the cross stitch police going to come get me?
I don't remember saying that. So
It must have been Naomi. I don't know, but I remember. I remember us sitting around Mom and Dad's
Cross-stitch
dining
police
table.
will get me for what I just did.
I wrote a story when I went
Oh, yeah.
to Stitch Shenanigans last year. Not this past April, but a year ago. I wrote a little story that I gave out to whoever wanted it at Stitch Shenanigans. A story called "The Cross Stitch Police."
That's good. I liked it.
Yeah.
Did you get any feedback on it?
Just people that people liked it, but I don't know where I am.
You can at least see your threads on your on.
Yes and no.
I was like, I did white first, and I didn't think to start with this darker brown color, so I had white in there first, which is why there's a tail of white here, because I'm going to continue with more white once I have the brown in, so I can see what I'm doing. And so I'm going back in and putting this brown in there, and it's just, a whole bunch of squares of white and then one square of brown, and a whole bunch of squares of white and one square of brown. So I have to figure out where I left those holes. And I'm having to go by what the pattern says rather than what my eyes are telling me, because I can't see it.
My eyes have gotten so bad. I have to have like that neck light, like I usually do, right on what I'm doing.
You want mine?
No, it's okay. I think the contrast is high enough. I don't know. I guess I'm going blind. Old age.
Well, I know I am, so. Actually, my last eye exam, they said that my distance vision.
I'm way overdue for mine too.
Well, my distance vision was still the same, which is unusual. It was my close-up vision. That's why I was noticing problems. Okay, now what? No. That
So
can't
I've
correct.
been working on a different project every day, up until till I got to this one, because I thought I was so close to finish, but it always seems, you always have more than you think you do, or whatever. I think, oh, I just got this and just this
That's
and
me.
this,
Oh my
and I'll
God.
be done.
That turkey tom, when I started it the other day, I had that.
Somehow this
that
is not
start.
right.
Yeah.
I kept saying, oh, it's just this. Oh, it's just that. And I just kept working on it. Before I realized it, I'd been working on it for like 2 hours. And I was like, I'm putting this down. I have things to do. And it's really cute, and I like the way that it's coming out, but I decided not to pick it up again today.
I decided to spin some fiber.
I'm doing some fun
I'm not
stitching.
sure, but I think I started it before I went to Boston. I think I started it back then. No, it's been since then. Anyway, I just decided to start it. Oh yeah. It was in the middle of this month. I was like, I'm gonna start a new spin just for kicks, and I had been working on it off and on, and I had last night I was kind of in the home stretch where like this huge braid, and I'd split it in two, and I did one whole half, and I was doing the other half, and I had like this much left, like a foot of fiber, and I'm like, I'm gonna be done with this any minute, and it took hours because I'm spinning it really finely, and you don't think about it when you're in the middle of a big pile, you just were working. But I had this much left, and I'm like, that's not going to take me very long. And it just went on and on.
The same thing holds true for like finishing a book.
Yeah.
I went to bed at 3:30 last night because I kept saying, okay, it's almost done. I'm almost done. And I wanted to see the end. It was a mystery kind of thing. And I was like, I want to know who did it. So I kept reading. And I'm looking at the clock going, it's 1 o'clock. I really should go to sleep. Oh, man.
That's
That's me. One more row.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. One more. When we get to the end of this thread, oh, we finished this motif, and before you know it, it's 6 o'clock in the morning.
Myself till 5 in the morning one night.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, but
because
I had
I've
to
got
get up and cook for people.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You're what?
Licking this thread
Oh.
a bazillion times because one thread goes in and the other one don't. But yeah, I've got the TV on, some murder and mayhem show, and that's kind of keeps the, so I know how many hours have gone by that it's like later than I think it is, because I think, oh, it's only 3 o'clock in the morning, and before I know it, it's 6 o'clock in the morning.
You see the sun start to come up, and you're like, oh
yeah.
no.
Yeah, the sky's getting lighter and lighter and lighter.
What did I do?
Or sometimes I'll start painting and time just stops.
Yeah.
Just ceases to exist. And I sit up going, oh, I'm at a good stopping point. I sit up and go, why does my back hurt?
Yeah.
And then I'm looking around, I'm like, holy cow! 4 hours has gone by. I didn't paint that much. And I look at it and go, oh yeah, I kind of did. Now, I am traveling my thread on this because, as I said, it's one stitch here, one stitch there.
Oh, yeah, I do that all the time.
I'm not gonna cut it off every time for that.
For me, it depends on.
Just waste thread.
It depends. Yeah, it depends on how far apart things are. But when it comes to like single confetti stitches, like that.
Well, you figure it's gonna get covered up by whatever else.
Yeah, yeah, and, or like if there's
Maybe.
if there's stuff on there already, then you know you can like on this.
Oh crap.
Like here,
Yeah.
where there's the red on this vine is on there. What was that? That was
My
somebody's
phone.
Oh.
That was my phone.
There are all like one red X and one little Algerian eyelet stitch or whatever. But there's one over here, and then along the vine there's another one over here, and then there's another one over here, and they're kind of far apart. And so where they were relatively close together, I tucked the thread underneath the existing thing on the vine, and then did another one or two, and then tucked it on there. So it's traveled, but it's tucked underneath this part of the vine, so you can't really see it. Where you really have to be careful of it is if it's like if you're doing a dark thread over white, you have to make sure that it that you can't really see it, and that's where like tucking it under an existing color helps a lot.
Well, like
This is funny. I'll read this in light of what we're saying. This is the end of the pandemic pattern. It says, warning. Cross-stitch pandemics are rare and usually occur only once every 100 years or so when a new and highly contagious design travels around the world, crossing countries and continents as it gathers momentum. It takes 6 to 9 months for a design to become viral. The five pathways of transmission: word of mouth, shared needles, www.longdogsampler.com, stitching groups, local needle workshops, and Facebook, Instagram.
so.
What does NB mean? Not every stitcher infected will follow the chart to the letter, so mutations both in content and color will almost certainly occur, some beautiful, others indicative of the stitcher's mental health. Symptoms to watch out for: an overwhelming desire to stitch to the exclusion of all else, elevated temperature and hyperventilation, occasionally in severe cases panic attacks, increased caffeine, alcohol consumption, insomnia, particularly when considering color changes, missed meals, unkempt appearance, a genuine fear that time is running out, compulsive posting of progress updates. What to do if infected? Try to stay calm. Pandemic is very virulent, and once infected, nature must be left to take its own course until the project is finished and framed. Some sufferers return to full health and sanity within 3 months, while for others, the infection can linger on with flares for years. A comfortable chair may ease numb buttocks, and a well-positioned lamp can do wonders for visual discomfort. Avoid the company of ravens at all costs. Reinfection is highly unlikely, although similar, less troublesome symptoms could be triggered any time in the future by new design releases by the same strain of design.
Yeah, I love that.
Funny. No, what I was looking for in here was instructions, which there aren't any.
About what?
Now I forgot what page I'm
Speaking
on.
of
Here we
numb buttocks.
are. No, these
Ow.
are these. This is back stitching.
Yes.
So what I'm afraid of, I think I better do the back stitching on one page. You know what I mean? Before I move, because I'm with all these pages.
Yeah, you can do it as. Yeah,
I'm
you
afraid
can do it
that
as you
I'll
go.
forget. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Or have to
Yeah.
go back and search.
Some people do it that way. Yeah, they'll backstitch as they go.
Because
so
this
they.
is like, what is this? 21 pages. Oh my
Yeah.
God. What did I? Why? What am I doing?
Well, what I did is
I'm not gonna finish this. I mean,
yeah, I know.
no, I'm just saying I'm not gonna finish this pandemic. But I mean, who knows? Like I was saying, I crocheted. I mean, I knitted a shawl in March, thinking by the time I finish with this little shawl, this will all be over, and it wasn't over. So then I bought yarn to make a Find Your Fade shawl, which is gigantic. And I thought, by the time I'm done with this Find Your Fade shawl, this will all be over. And then I did the Casapinka mystery knit along, and I thought, by the time this is done, 6 weeks, it'll all be over. And it's still not over. So, who knows?
I was gonna say what I did actually was I made a copy of. I have the individual pages, and then I copied all of that, and I actually taped them together, because I have trouble when there's
Multiple pages?
yeah, well, like even if it's shaded to say okay this part overlaps whatever, that my brain just doesn't function that way. I end up like
figuring out where the overlaps are.
And especially because like where I'm stitching on Pandemic is right on the edge of a page.
Yeah.
And so I'm having and it's page like 13 and page 8 or something like that. And
oh really?
Yeah.
Because the center is right here.
I'm down here though.
Oh,
I'm
it's
not,
right here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see.
And so I went over to this middle section here, and that's right on the edge of the page. So I'm going, wait.
But it's hard to say which where it is too, because
yeah, because then you're like in the middle of this design, and you have to look at the big picture, of the design. So like I said, I have them all stuck together. I have the top half and the bottom half. And that way I can fold it up however.
Yeah.
And
that's smart because I guess 9 and 10 are next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like here's the other side. Here's the overlap of where that is. Yeah. I just can't function without this program, frankly. I it's knitting program, but I still use it, and
I am lost now.
I don't know if you can see on here. This is. Oh, I probably shouldn't show this, should I?
You can't see.
Can't see it. Anyway, I use the Knit Companion software, and I highlight over where I've been.
That's like PC Stitch.
Right. But I'm just saying, like
PC Stitch, is that what it?
No, PC Stitch is the design software.
It's whatever. It's
I can't remember the name of it either. Yeah. But I love Knit Companion for that reason. What's neat about Knit Companion, I assume the cross stitch one's the same, but
yeah,
I can get out of this program and open up this pattern, and it
I'm sure
it's right where I was.
People looking at this thing
pattern
are screaming at right. It's such and such.
Yeah.
The name of the thing.
Put it in the comments below, because we don't remember what it's called.
What?
Put it in the comments below, because we don't remember what it's called. But
you don't remember what it's called?
The software.
That software.
The cross-stitch software. That's like this Knit Companion that holds your patterns.
Pattern
Keeper.
You said it.
Pattern Keeper.
I was gonna say.
I said this software that holds your patterns. Oh yeah. Pattern Keeper.
Pattern Keeper is the name of it.
But no, what I like about Knit Companion is probably the same. I said I'm sure. Like if you have more than one thing going on, I can close this pattern, and when I open it up again, it'll be exactly where I left it, which is so nice. Remember when you used to have to save things?
Still occasion or some stuff.
Yeah. But so like I said, I was keeping a really good, just like one day stitching on this, one day stitching on that, and for me, I'm like putting in more than 30 minutes a day. I'm just stitching until.
Well, that's because this is your jam.
I stitch until
I don't have time usually to
get a
stitch
stopping point
more than
or
a few
whatever.
hours. If I do it for a long time.
I sit in the mornings and I'm knitting, and I think I should cross stitch. But so I'm thinking about it, so that's good, right? What was I going to tell you? Oh, mouse update from our last video.
Yeah.
So you guys know this story, but if you watched our last video, remember that my daughter had a mouse and it got stuck in a trap, and she told her roommates about it. I mean, her next door neighbors. And she called maintenance, and they didn't come, and I was getting mad, and I'm like, I'm on this lease also. Oops, too much talking. I'm on this lease also, and that was right. and I'm going to throw a fit if they don't come. So she called and they said, oh, yeah, I know we're coming in. We'll be coming in tonight whether you're home or not. And so I assumed the exterminator was coming and he was going to poison. Well, he did. So the next morning, we get a call. We're in Arizona and she's in Boston. So at 3:30 in the morning, we get a phone call and she's upset because she saw another mouse. And then that mouse ran to her kitchen and then proceeded to basically be poisoned and have a seizure in her kitchen for hours.
Poor little kid.
Poor little mouse. I know, it was very sad, but what are you going to do? So finally it wiggled. We were telling her, put something on top of it so it doesn't wiggle under your stove or wiggle under your fridge. But she was too scared. So it wiggled under her fridge. And then when maintenance, so we were there on the phone from 3:30 till I don't know when with her, just trying to comfort her and help her and just be with her in the moment. And when maintenance opened at 9, she called them and they said, we'll be right over. And they moved her fridge and took the mouse. And no more mice since then, hopefully. So that's the conclusion.
joys of living in a city.
So-
Yes, that's the conclusion to the mouse story.
Oh, so
Hopefully.
For now.
one of the things I worked on for this was a freebie pattern from Twin Peak Primitives called Mouse of the House.
Yeah. there you go.
And Hannah was saying that she wants a cross stitch
It says mouse house.
called that says Mouse House and MAUSHAUS.
Yeah.
So I was thinking of like adapting the mouse from that little freebie.
Yeah.
Because it's a perfect size, and
She wants a little sign that says mouse house. And they said, you need to get your Aunt Beth to make you one. She's
Yeah.
like, yes. Well, get on it.
Yeah. Well, her little Christmas present is done. It was that little snowman.
Oh,
I
cute.
think it was a Brenda Gervais design also. What I want is, and I don't think I have the pattern. I've been meaning to buy it. Is she did a bunch of I think they're basically seasonal because I know there's two. There's an Easter one and a Christmas one and a like Halloween or fall one. But there's one called Peppermint Pals, and it's I think it's a snowman wearing little pants, and he's got like, a candy cane or something.
Snowman wearing pants.
And
Snowman
then
don't wear pants.
They wear vests. They don't wear pants.
That's
You
the
have to
great
see
thing
the
about
back.
being a snowman. You don't have to wear pants.
You wear shoes.
And you can be fat. Nobody cares.
You wear shoes. You wear a scarf.
You wear shoes.
There's some snowmen that have shoes. Frosty
know,
has
there's-
shoes.
Oh yeah, Frosty had shoes but no pants.
But then there's
Did you see something blink over there?
it's the light. It's
Oh, it's because I turned that lamp on. It's freaking out.
oh
Yeah. It's
Oh.
trying to focus on it. It'll be
Okay.
better now. It didn't help me anyway, so.
yeah.
I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, it kept getting light and dark.
But there's one called oh I don't know what it's called, but it's an Easter one. It's a bunny,
You and your bunnies.
and then there's but they're big, so they're and the bunny has like his ears sticking straight up, whatever. And then there's one for fall or Halloween, but it's a pumpkin, and it has a blue body, whatever. But anyway, they're all really cute. It's in my someday Brenda Gervais list. But Holiday Hoopla is the one that I made for Hannah, with the little snowman. I've shown it
Pants.
on my
A
channel.
snowman with pants.
He doesn't have pants.
You said pants.
No, the other one, Peppermint
Oh.
Pal, has pants.
Your pants
don't
don't
have
have
pants.
Oh my god.
Because live snowmen are real, right?
Okay, another story about animals and fiber.
Mhm.
Not the mouse story didn't have fiber, but this has.
She would get more done if she didn't have her cats on her lap all the time.
Oh my gosh, those cats. My cat Hobbs is a lap hog. Anyway, he's also a yarn hog, and the child can sniff out wool anywhere. He can. Calvin, his brother, doesn't care, but Hobbs can find it and sniff it out. And here's me, stupid. Okay, so it's the fault of cross stitch. Okay, so I follow these guys that I love named Arne and Carlos, and they have all kinds of yarn designs that they do. And one of the things they do is they call it Perfect, P-A-I-R-F-E-C-T, perfect, but with a pair, because you make a perfect pair of socks with it. Okay, so it has a leader yarn, and then you start knitting, and then you get to another, and you make a sock, and then you get to another leader yarn, and when that leader yarn ends, you start knitting your second sock, and both socks end up the same. That's cool. So of course I ordered some, and I got 2 balls of it, and I, for some reason, knowing my cat, I put them in my cross stitch bag. Just put them in there, thinking he's only gonna get in there, and I put my stuff on top of it. Well, I put that cross stitch bag between my feet this morning, and I was working on this cross stitch with my headphones on, watching YouTube, and all of a sudden my son goes, "Whoa, Mom, look, that child had come and taken one of those balls of yarn from the bag in between my feet and strewn it across the house, pulled out loops like this of the nicely neatly wound ball, and had bitten it in the middle of the cuff color." So the point is, you have to start at the beginning of the cuff color, make the cuff, and then keep going. When you run out of cuff color, then you start well, if I don't have the same amount of cuff color on both socks, so I couldn't, and he had bitten it really probably in the middle or towards the last third of the cuff color. I was so mad at myself mostly, but that little child made me so upset. And so I went on to Arne and Carlos's YouTube channel. I said, "I have to tell you the story." So they brought me back. Because they're my best friends. And they said, "What a naughty kitten." He goes, because I said, "Well, my socks aren't going to be perfect now because I'm going to have a knot in the middle of the cuff." But they wrote back and said, "What a naughty kitty, but your socks will be great." So anyway, and full of memories or something like that. So I told Hobbs, "Arne and Carlos think you're very naughty." It's a good thing he's cute because. But
cats are very cute.
He can find wool. He loves it. He seeks it out. He bites it.
That's why I have all my cross stitch stuff.
You said you didn't want a bag with a zipper, so I didn't make you a bag.
That
with
wasn't
a zipper.
the bag. It was a different bag. But I know. But I mean, he even okay. So, and I'm the stupid one because I just don't think that he's gonna care about it or something. I had spun
You do
up.
live with that cat, right?
I had spun up some yarn. Fortunately, I actually had 2 skeins. One that I loved and one that I was like, that was an experiment. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Because it was all overspun. It was a big mess. So it was good. That's the one he picked. But it was actually the one that he didn't pick was sort of more processed dyed yarn. But this one was actual, straight off the sheet, processed, but, not dyed or anything like that. Not superwash, not, it was just like real wool. And that's the one he picked. It was a skein. I had twisted it up into a nice skein. It was sitting there. I was gonna wash them and all that, and I put them on my desk and didn't even think about it out in the living room and didn't think about it. And all of a sudden, my husband's like, "What is this? What is this, Naomi? What is this?" No. He sent me a picture. I wasn't in the house. He sent me a picture. He goes, "What is this?" And it was this brown, weird mess. It almost looked like a giant ball of hair, like out of a sink or something.
It was pretty gnarly.
It was terrible. And I was like, "Oh no!" I said, "I don't care about that, but go look at my desk and see if the other skein is still there." And it was. The good one was still there, and so he hadn't attacked that one.
That's why
I know, it's my own stupid fault.
Because I stitch it in on my bed, and I have all my stuff in that little corner of my bed, between the bed and the wall. And I put whenever I'm not in there or when I go to sleep, I have a pillow up against all that stuff. Like everything's behind the pillow. And
I know, but you're lucky that thread doesn't smell, because that's what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
It's the
Well-
wool smell, and he digs for it.
what Snug does, Puck doesn't really care so much, but what Snug does is he will he likes plastic. So I have this zipper, this little project bag. It's a project bag. Look, I'm going to do a commercial right here. The project bag
You two can own
that
one.
my sister made. This it's kind of the glare. There's too much glare, but anyway, has handles and a zipper, and it's very roomy. It's very big.
4, 5, 6, 7.
It's like 14 by 15 or whatever. So there's a dog. Anyway, so I have in this bag. It's a big bag, and I have like several projects. I have all these Ziploc bags. So this sits on my bed, and if it's open, Snug wants to grab the Ziploc bags because he loves plastic,
Also, Hops.
and so he like fussles around and like stop it. And both of the cats like anything. Like I have a little charm on this zipper, so both of the cats like to mess with that. And also, I have this project bag that one of my viewers made and sent to me, and it has this little dangly thing that she made, a zipper pull thing made out of fabric. And Puck likes to play with that, so I have to hide it from him. I have to turn it around so he can't see it. But also, I'm gonna get my. I think I threw my scissors in here.
1,
Yeah.
2.
So I have my scissors there, that and sometimes I usually just if I like get up to the bathroom or the kitchen or whatever, I try to tuck my scissors up in there, because if they're on the bed, both of the cats, they think, "Ooh, it's a toy," and they like to play with it, and I'll find them on the floor. I'll find it, or sometimes the edge of the loop of the scissors is sticking out, and so they'll grab it, and I'll come in and I find the scissors in the middle of the bed because they've been playing with it.
I'm going to do my eyes a favor and
It
choose a
never
different color.
We
But
love
the
them,
worst thing
but they're
is-
a pain in the butt.
I'll
I
sit
brought scissors.
while I'm stitching
I forgot.
that
Cute.
that the cats will do stuff like I'll sit there and I'll let Snug's lying there beside me, and I'm trying to stitch, and he'll I'm not really looking at him, and the next thing I know he's going grabbing that thread with his paw. He's like, stop it.
It's funny. Hobbs will get in my lap and sleep on me while I'm knitting, and he has learned not to bite the yarn. You know what? I think it's this thing. Look.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
my,
it is.
It's
Every
my
time
white.
you pick it up, yeah.
I'm sorry for all you people watching, but he knows not to bite the yarn that's in my lap.
Uh-huh.
But boy, if he can get to it, I'm gonna turn down the brightness on this thing, because this is also, I think, affecting the video. But if he can get to it when I'm not looking, he knows exactly what to do.
I can't leave cloth anymore.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing that Snug does, is he'll just put his paw here and his claw will poke.
Cloth or paper?
Yeah.
Or your dog will eat it.
This is what my dog did to her toy. It's shredded. No, I'm not letting you play with it. Don't give me those sad eyes. You'll eat the stuffing. She eats the stuffing. She opens it somewhere, she finds an opening, and there goes the stuffing. That's her second one. I'm having to go buy her another one, I guess, tomorrow. Silly dog.
Well, she loves it. It's her friend.
She does. And she'll do that with Kleenex, we pulled a twisty tie out of her mouth today. She, anything. Now, I have some pills I'm supposed to give her. She spits them out. But if I drop a pill on the floor, she'll eat it. So, yeah. Pets are a challenge we enjoy.
Last Saturday was my birthday, and I got from these two gift cards to Hobby Lobby. And my aunt actually sent me a gift card to Joann's, which I need to use at some point. But so today I went to and spent some money. Oh, I hate when I do that. I hook my finger out and yank the needle out. But I went and bought some stuff at Hobby Lobby, and I just bought some morning stuff. I bought a glue gun and some glue sticks, and I bought a storage box. I don't know where I am. Okay.
But I had a driver, and I ended up buying stuff too. I spent more money than she did.
But well, I spent actually about the same, but
you got gift cards.
half of it was the gift cards. Yeah, so.
How about this?
Oh, that's so cute.
You can't see it. It's too far away.
Here, I'll take it up because I gotta stand up anyway.
It's got foxes and
Check on how
raccoons
much
and
time we
We're
bunnies.
at 51 minutes.
Okay.
We're gonna have to say goodbye.
Foxes and raccoons and bunnies.
Cute.
I'm gonna make some probably just one. I got the end of the bolt, so I think it's
That's
less
very
than
cute.
a yard. It's adorable. I didn't intend to buy fabric. I was walking by the fabric looking for Beth, and that jumped in my cart. And I tried to put it back, and it kept jumping back in. So
I think.
We should probably say goodbye.
Yeah.
Because last week
Last time
we ran
we-
out of time.
Yeah. And we're kind of right at the hour mark.
And my iPad's dying anyway, so.
So yeah.
my eyeballs
So-
are dying.
This has been Three Sisters Creative. Elizabeth Martinez phantastitches. I mean, speak slowly so I can enunciate. Little Flosstube extra for the Witchy Stitchy Challenge 2020. The three of us working on. I'm not.
You're still not done?
I'm still not done. I have to do the little cabins and
It's because you've been talking.
and a few little snow drops.
At least it's not the
and a
snowman
star.
of 2019.
Yes, it's
I
not
got-
the snowman.
I got quite a bit done on the beard.
But so I'm
I got
almost
a
done.
tiny
I'm
bit
still
more.
almost done.
I got a tiny bit more done.
But I did a tree. I finished this tree, so the tree is done.
But I also worked on 2 other cross stitch today, so
Yeah.
I'm happy.
But so this will be posted on my channel, and
Don't forget to write for the free
yeah,
pattern.
email me
Or me.
and for this free little Halloween
Scaredy Cat.
Scaredy
so
Cat
cute.
pattern.
Yeah, the physical size is small.
Does it say on here?
Yeah, on the second sheet it says what the physical size is. It's not, it's,
5.5 by 5 and 5.36.
but it'll
Yeah.
make up pretty quickly, you know.
It'll be perfect for Halloween.
Yeah. Do it on glow in the dark fabric.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Or the ghost in glow in the dark thread. Is there such a thing?
Yeah. I bought some, but you know, I
Well, you can use
left
like
it sitting
sparkle
out.
thread or whatever.
I left
you
it
know.
sitting out, and it doesn't seem to glow in the dark. So that's okay.
Yeah,
Well-
77 by 75 stitches. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we're gonna go ahead and sign off before we run out of time.
Bye. See you next
Thanks
time.
for watching.
Bye.